YouTube family, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am taking you with me on a luxury cruise. No, I'm kidding. I am taking you with me through to the gym and through a lower body session. The idea with this video is to explain to you why I train like I do. In previous video, when I talked about my workout splits, I tried to explain a little bit about how I split my lower body days up and overall how I'm training. But the idea with this video is to explain to you why I do certain exercises in a certain order. Like, why do I do that exercise as the first one and why do I do the next exercise as the second one. So the idea is to break the whole session down for you, and hopefully you will learn something, or I can inspire you to whatever. So before we start this video, do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video with me. I always start my workouts with a warm-up. Some think that I don't have time for a warm-up, but you always have time for a warm-up. The warm-up is the key to your whole session. So it truly is so important that you take the time to do a warm-up. Whatever it is, like bicycle, walking uphill, doing some lunges or squats and stuff like that, just to warm up the area that you are gonna work for today. Let's go to the gym. I personally like to start my lower body sessions with 10 minutes of bicycling. I do it with a lot of resistance as I really want my legs to wake up. After that, I'm doing some air squats, I'm doing front and back lunges, and after that I'm going over to my favorite warm-up exercise, which is a squat into a stretch. This exercise, you guys, if you haven't added this into your lower body session, it is a must. So the focus on today's lower body session will be on quads and glutes, mainly glutes. That is why I'm gonna start this session with 2 glute exercises and 2 isolated glute exercises. The first one is the kickback. When doing kickbacks, it's really important that you think about your form as in any other exercise. A lot of girls feel more in their lower back than they feel in the glutes, mostly because you're standing a little bit too straight. What I love to do is to lean forward and then just raise my leg, keeping my back straight and focusing on hitting the glutes. When I come up in the kick, I squeeze my glutes before I go down. Controlled all the way up and controlled all the way down. We want quality, not quantity. For the kickback, I'm doing 3 sets times 12 reps on each leg. No rest between, just to keep the intensity in both sides of the glutes. After the first exercise, we are going over to one more isolated glutes exercise, which is the abductor machine. We are going to perform this exercise 3 sets times 12 reps. This is a strict go-to for myself when I want to warm up my glutes. Perfect exercise to keep the weights low and the reps higher to activate the glutes. 2 isolated glutes exercises are now done. The idea with this kind of splits is that as I want to focus on my glutes, I do 2 exercises to activate my glutes first before I hit the first heavy exercise, which is a compound exercise but also a glute exercise. But as we're already warm in the glutes, they will take over the next exercise, which is sumo deadlifts. This exercise is an exercise that I have become to love more and more the more I have done it. Sometimes I feel that I have a little bit of a hard time to really feel it in my glutes. That's why I do 2 glute exercises, isolated glute exercises, before I hit the sumo deadlift exercise. For myself, it works so much better when I activate and isolate my glutes before hitting an exercise like this. This is an exercise that is like overall lower body, a lot of glutes obviously, but sometimes I can have a hard time just feeling the contact directly in. If this would be my first exercise, I would probably not feel that exercise in my glutes as much as if I did 2 isolated glutes exercises before. So that is why I do this. Sometimes I do this exercise with lower reps and higher weights, but in this specific lower body session, I will be repping more reps and lowering the weights instead, just to really work with the contact, because you know, sometimes it isn't always good to just raise the weights and to chase the weights. It's sometimes better to just go down to lower weights and work your way up, or just work with the contact, doing time and attention, doing eccentric hold, doing pause, anything like that, to just switch your workouts up. I use those methods a lot when it comes to my training, like my overall training. I will perform the sumo deadlift for 5 sets times 10 till 12 reps, depending on my weights. I like to hit 5 sets, but I only do 5 sets on the first exercise. So if you haven't tried it, it's definitely something that you should try. I never save any energy for the last exercise. I always push 200% in the beginning of the exercise, doing everything I can, and then I lower down the tempo. So we are at the 4th exercise of this session. It feels weird that we are, for myself, we are at the 2nd exercise, but that is just because I see the first 2 exercises as a warm-up, as something I need to do before I start the session. So for myself, the sumo deadlift is the first exercise, but who's counting? Okay, so the 4th exercise will be a superset. We are gonna perform a leg extension into a sissy squat, a body weight sissy squat. This superset, okay you guys, this superset is something that I have been loving to do. It is so good, and it is so challenging. You have no idea. If you haven't tried, please, you need to try this. So we're doing 10 reps on the leg extension machine. When you are done with those 10, I want you to go directly over to whatever you want to stand. It can be good to hold on to something, because this exercise is heavy as freaking hell. It is so much more heavy than you can ever imagine if you haven't tried it before. Sissy squat is the shit, I'm telling you guys. So I'm holding on to the machine, going down as deep as I can with my knees, almost touching the floor, and pushing up again. This is an isolated exercise for your quads. As we've already worked the quads in the leg extension machine, this will be a perfect finisher and a perfect way to just wake up those quads. So 10 on the first leg extension and 10 or as many as you can on sissy squats. Now, if you have problems with your knees, or if this exercise is too heavy, please do any of these exercises that I will write to you as an alternative and as something else to do. I want you to do any of these, not only resting. This will be challenging, but you will do it and you will make it, and you got this. So to the parts that I love about splitting my workout up like this is the 3rd exercise is like it connects both the first one and the 2nd one, because we're already warm in our glutes from both the isolated exercises and the sumo deadlift, and then we have been working our quads, and the quads are on fire. So the 3rd exercise is like something that connects these 2 together. So in the leg press machine, we are gonna have a narrow and low stand, which will also work our quads, mainly quads, but you will also feel this a little bit in your glutes. If you want to feel more in your glutes, keep a higher stand. You can still keep the narrow stand for the quads, because I want this exercise to be mainly quads. But if you want to feel it a little bit more in your glutes, you can keep it a little bit higher. Or if you prefer, you can have it higher and wider to be able to hit the glutes more. So there's 2 rules when it comes to leg press. Never ever lock your knees out, ever. When you have a lot of weights on, and you pushed it up, and then you lock your knees out. I don't want to think about what can happen, so please don't ever lock your knees out when doing leg press. Second one is never let your glutes raise from the seat that you are on. This can be really dangerous for both your hips and your lower back. We will do 4 sets times 10 reps. Next exercise is a hip thrust. I love to do hip thrust, but sometimes I like to mix it up as well, doing hip thrusts with a barbell, or doing it a B-stand hip thrust, or in this case doing hip thrust in the Smith machine. This Smith machine is definitely not the best, but with small adjustments we can make it happen. So if you have a Smith machine like this is a tip for you. I'm using a box for my feet to get a little bit more elevated up into the thrust. I'm using the bench as always, and then when I'm going down I get a deeper movement in the whole exercise. And the focus here is to just work those glutes, squeeze those glutes. I am doing this with a pause at the top of the exercise. I'm going down and coming up, squeezing the glutes tight, holding for 1-2 seconds before I go down again. So I'm performing this 4 sets times 10 till 12 reps. When doing hip thrust, you know it, we have rules. We have rules when doing hip thrust. To not get your back cracked and to avoid back pain, and also to get the perfect contact in your glutes, we want to have the legs in a 90 degrees position. Chin should be down to your chest when pushing up, and then when squeezing at the top, it's really important that you actually are like round your back when you're going up in the hip thrust. Round your back, keep your chin tucked into your chest, and then try to have your eyes forward instead of going like this. When you're going up, you want to have this position looking straight forward. That is a golden rule when it comes to hip thrust. Next exercise is one of my favorite ones, and I know a lot of girls love this exercise. I'm talking about the dumbbell sumo squats. I like to place this exercise as one of the last exercises I do, mainly because I can really push myself with the reps instead of pushing myself as I would never put this exercise as the first or the second exercise. For me, this is a finisher. For me, I still push the weights. So we're doing 3 sets times 15 reps of this exercise. And of course, we have rules here as well. There's a lot of rules, I know, but you should never ever go into the gym and just, lift weights and never think about what you're doing. Form is so important when we are training. It's so freaking important. I can never ever say that enough. Form, quality over quantity. It doesn't matter if you do 20 reps, 30 reps, 40 reps, if you don't have your form under control. So when doing the dumbbell sumo squats, always keep your back straight. Always have your spine all the way up to your neck. Keep it straight all the way down. What I always think about when doing this exercise is I always try to think about my stand. I always try to think about where, feeling the exercise through my feet. It sounds really weird, but it truly helps me so much when doing any exercise for lower body. I always think through my feet, how I'm standing and how I'm pushing and how I feel the exercise. So when going down, I have a straight back. I'm going all the way down. I'm leaning a little bit backwards, so take help from the dumbbell when doing the exercise. Lean a little bit backward and pointing your glutes backwards. So you're almost like a 90 degrees angle, almost like a 90 degrees angle. Lean backward and push with your heels. That will activate your glutes. We're at the final line. Finish line. Let's go. So we're gonna do the cable pull through. We're gonna do 3 sets times 12 till 15 reps as the finisher. We're going down to leaning forward until you have your back in, your body in a 90 degrees position. until you feel the stretch in your hamstrings and your glutes.
The only thing I need when I'm done, lift me up with your company. There's no telling what you want me creating. We're on the same wavelength. Feel the beat tonight, something good inside. Set you free, let you lose all track of time. Come on.
So when doing the cable pull through, I want you to lean forward until you feel your hamstrings and your glutes activated. Once again, point your glutes backwards, like point it out as much as you can, and keep your back straight. Lean forward until you have like a 90 degrees position, or until you feel the stretch in your hamstrings and your glutes. This is mainly for your glutes, as when you're coming up, you're pushing your pelvis forward and squeezing the glutes. Also really important to keep your back rounded when going up, as the glutes are the muscles that will be working when doing this movement. Lowering down slowly can also be a good thing when, once again, quality before quantity. It doesn't matter if you do hundreds of reps if you don't feel the exercise. So lower slowly and then raise up and squeeze the glutes. Squeeze them for 1 to 2 seconds if that helps you, and then go down again. So guys, that was my lower body session. I really hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that you understood everything that I meant and that I tried to explain. It is really hard for me sometimes to find the right words and to explain everything in English. Trust me, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. So I will write everything in the description below. Try this workout out and let me know what you think. Let me know if this type of split helps you to get more contact in your glutes. And yeah, just let me know. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Do not forget that Gymshark's new camo, Adapt Camo, just launched. You have my link in the description below, so you can just click on that one to shop. I'm wearing size small on all tops and size extra small on my leggings, as the one that I was wearing in this video. So yeah, that was everything for today. Thank you for watching. Have an awesome day. Love you guys. Bye.